If there was one genre that has dominated gaming over the last few decades, it would have to be the shooter games. Not since the early tidal wave of platforming games and the fighting game craze of the 90s has there been such a bloated catalog of games, all tailored to a large casual group or a loyal dedicated niche. Everyone that has touched a game in their life has touched at least one game where they're running around with a gun mowing down enemies, whether in multiplayer or in single player, in first person or third person, kiddie or gruesome, and we're gonna count them down today. Big Nasty is on a kill streak looking to find the top 10 shooters. Alpha HQ, this is Bravo India Gecko Nasty, over. I've just gotten word that the viewer watching this video isn't subscribed to the channel.
Get that son of a bitch out of my sight.
Alright, laying down the hammer now, over.
Number 10.
This choice might be a mixed bag, but the way Valorant has just completely shot up in popularity needs to be looked at. A search and destroy type game with a unique spin on it which creates a whole new gameplay loop and theme with nothing else quite like it. If you want to play Valorant, all you could play is Valorant, and there are no other real alternatives besides maybe Rogue Company. People who have never touched the game in their life spend hours and hours in a day on this game. In its relatively early infancy, this game still managed to be one of the top of the line in the shooter genre.
Number 9.
I know I've bragged on Overwatch in the past, but it'd be completely unfair for me to not pass it off as one of the best shooters currently around. Everything I've said for Valorant applies to Overwatch, except Overwatch is past its early days and proven itself with its longevity, albeit with tons of drama and hurdles along the way. Adding 3 characters and like 2 maps does not constitute a sequel, Blizzard. That's just a big update. At least we have the story mode coming out. Yo, every time I try and throw these people at Overwatch a bone, they just spit it right out and tell me to bite ass. Anyways, regardless, Overwatch has iconic characters, settings, and lines that have wiggled their way into the mainstream limelight, and it's even got Tinder built into one of its custom lobbies. Let's end this selection right here, and how about we all meet up on Tinder Watch? My gamer tag is BeepBopBoop. I'll see you there.
Number 8.
You want to talk about a game that was absolutely ahead of its time? A game that you could release today and it would skyrocket in popularity? No other game better fits this description than Titanfall 2. One of my personal favorites in the list, this game is the pure definition of a movement shooter up to its damn bone marrow. Just looking at some gameplay from Titanfall is all the explanation I really need. Giant mechs falling from the sky and fighting each other like one awesome Godzilla movie. Super soldiers zipping around each other with some great gameplay at the thick of it all. The proof of Titanfall's greatness can be seen just by looking at Apex. The core of Titanfall injected into Apex Legends and given new life, and while Apex does have many problems, the same can't be said about Titanfall.
Number 7.
It's about time we start talking about the proper boots to ground, realistic FPSs. When you think of shooters, 11 times out of 10, a first-person shooter is gonna come to mind, and among the best of them has to be Battlefield. The times of Battlefield 2 and 3 remain some of the most absolute peaks of gaming, competing against COD for the king of FPS. But even then, Battlefield still manages to stand out. Rather than dropping you in a small map for 5v5 action, Battlefield scales it by 10 with a massive battlefield and 50 players on each side, making you feel like you are actually going to war. A true standout in the FPS genre, and while it has struggled to keep on in modern times with Battlefield 2042's horrible release, nothing can keep the amazing early days of Battlefield from getting a spot and the claim to fame as one of the best shooters around.
Number 6.
Large-scale battles and giant fields are some obvious fun, but what if you're looking for something more intimate, more tense, more cerebral? You want something like that? Then what you want is Rainbow. Everybody talks about heroes of war and huge devastating battles, but what about the quieter fights? The fights that you don't hear about. Taking control of your operator and either defending a site in an enclosed area or attacking enemies looking to detonate a bomb or to save a hostage. Peeking every angle, holding your breath, looking for whatever sound cues you can. Properly coordinating your team efforts, making proper use of your team's gadgets, your drones, or your reinforcements looking to get whatever kind of edge you can get against the enemy team. There is no experience quite like Rainbow Six Siege.
Number 5.
I've mentioned the longevity with games like Overwatch and how it's managed to stick around, but no game can top the longevity and stubbornness of CSGO. This game released in 2012 and it is still kicking strong today with a healthy competitive scene, streaming community, and a wide player base. It feels like every nook, every cranny, everything has been explored in CSGO, but that doesn't stop you from having your own fun time and learning new things yourself. There's a reason a game like this has stuck around for so long, and it wouldn't have lasted even a year if it wasn't good or fun to play. Around for over a decade. Based off of that alone, CSGO warrants a place in the discussion for best shooter.
Number 4.
Now is the point where we are getting into the real gaming juggernauts. Games that have either revolutionized the genre or created long-lasting and unforgettable memories and cultures that have lasted long since past the game. And Borderlands fits among both those lines perfectly. Borderlands literally created a whole subcategory of games, the looter shooter. Games like Destiny would only be a thought in some masochist's head if not for the success of Handsome Jack, Claptrap, and our Vault Hunters. So many fun characters, funnier moments, and extremely fun, exhilarating, and polished gameplay with unique gameplay loops, settings, enemies, and abilities. Borderlands 2 is among my favorite games of all time, and it'd be absolutely illegal for me to leave our special crew, Sirens and Hunters, in the dark.
Number 3.
I mean, come on. This choice is either gonna make everybody groan or get excited, but there was no gaming juggernaut bigger than Fortnite. Fortnite was a movement. It was a revolution in the gaming community. When talking about game releases, eventually we're gonna have to start using BF for before Fortnite and AF for after Fortnite. That is how important Fortnite is to this industry. Fortnite single-handedly popularized the genre, is what led to cross-platforming, and created the Battle Pass system which every game now annoyingly has copied.
Number 2.
Creating long-lasting and unforgettable memories and cultures that have long since passed the game's lifeline. Now what does that remind you of? Back in the day when you thought about shooters, only 2 games came to mind most times, and one of them was none other than Call of Duty. The times of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2 are the most romanticized and nostalgic times in gaming culture. Call of Duty has been around for its 20th year with new game hitting shelves year after year. Call of Duty has been the most popular and mainstream shooter around besides maybe Fortnite in the modern day, and it was because there was nothing quite like Call of Duty when it first released, and its legacy and importance will cause it to be sticking around for many years to come and be remembered for even longer than that. I'm armed and ready to fire, but before I unload my clip on everyone who's still not subscribed by this point, let's pick our loadout and watch our kill cam on the top 10 best shooters. Number 10, Valorant. Number 9, Overwatch. Number 8, Titanfall. Number 7, Battlefield. Number 6, Rainbow Six Siege. Number 5, CSGO. Number 4, Borderlands. Number 3, Fortnite. Number 2, Call of Duty.
Number 1.
We talked about some games lasting for years and years. We talked about some games creating lasting memories. We've even talked about some games popularizing a genre. But has there been a game that popularized and almost single-handedly sold a console? When the Xbox first came out, it was new, it was foreign. Nobody knew much about it or what it had to offer over the PlayStation until the first Halo dropped. Then gaming changed forever. Afterwards, Halo 2 dropped, and it was in all seriousness the most anticipated gaming release of all time. Stores and GameStops were filled to the brim by everybody trying to get their hands on a Halo. There was absolutely nothing even close to it. Master Chief, Cortana, the multiplayer, The Forge, Sniper Wars, Duck Hunt, Griffball, Shotties and Snipers, Capture the Flag. I can go on and on and on until the end of time. Halo 3, Halo ODST, even Halo Infinite had a spectacular release, although its popularity has since diminished. The day Halo released changed gaming forever. If Halo were have never come out, we'd likely all be playing on PlayStation or Google Stadia. Oh,